We're going to talk about hacking a servo. This is a standard size servo with metal gears. It provides quite a bit of torque to the wheel, and basically what you need to do is start by taking it apart. Usually there's 4 screws at the bottom. Carefully take off the back, and you can see that there's a board, the electronics board that controls the motor and also the position. All of that will be removed, so you end up with just the motor connected directly to the servo wire. Let's open up the top. So now you can see that right here there's a stop. This prevents the servo arm from rotating continuously. It rotates 180 degrees and stops. We're going to cut that off with the Dremel. That's really the key to making this a continuous rotation motor. So let's do that now. So I have my Dremel with a cutoff wheel, and I just go ahead and slice that off. There you have it. So I've cut that off now, nice and flush. I can put the top on. Of course, if any of the gears fall out during this process, you'll need to put those back in. Give it a little wiggle. Okay. Try this again. Wasn't fitting quite right. There we go. It's better. Okay, now we're going to work on the electronics. Okay, we're over at the workbench. Now we're going to take care of the electronics on this servo. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the servo cable. If you have a pair of helping hands, this is the best time to use them. So I'm just going to remove these wires off the board. And also remove the 2 wires from the motor. And now I'm going to solder the wires back onto the motor. There's 3 wires on a servo cable. I only need 2 of them. so I can trim. I'm going to cut off this yellow one since I don't need it. And then I'm going to solder these back on. Okay, we're going to continue with attaching the servo wire to the motor on the servo itself. This particular wire has a grommet which is overmolded, so I can't just peel it off. If I attach the wires like this, the grommet is going to be way over here when I need it to be back over here near the case. So I'm going to have to remove the grommet carefully. If I cut by the wire, the yellow wire, which is not used, if I have any problem, if I go too far with the cutting, it's not a big deal because I don't use that wire. So I'm just going to peel this off. There we are. Just peel it carefully all the way around. Okay. And now I can put this grommet back on and move it where I need to so it fits back on the case. So now I'm going to solder the wires back onto the motor. I'm going to use this pair of pliers to hold the motor, or hold the servo, while I do the soldering. So now I'm just going to go ahead and solder those wires back onto the motor. There's one. There's the other one. Okay, now I can fit the grommet back on the edge of the case and put the back cover on. You can see that there's a notch right here for the grommet. Put the back case on, 4 screws. Fit that grommet in there so it holds the wire but doesn't kink it. And now I can screw this back on with the electric screwdriver. There you go. Now you have a hacked servo. It would be a good idea to test this to make sure it's working properly after your modification.